Hi everyone, my name is Justin and I'm going to do a quick nutrition game about what your protein needs are for the day and what foods have healthy protein. So would anybody like to step up to play? Come on down. What's your name?
My name's Megan.
Megan, thank you for coming up to play.
My pleasure.
Welcome to Metro Parent. So my question for you is, what is protein? What do you think it is? And what does it do for our bodies?
Well, I can answer the second question better. It helps us build muscles.
Yes.
It gives us energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, those are two very, very smart answers. Those are actually 2 of the 3 points I was going to make. Protein is a form of energy. It provides us with energy just like fats and carbs do, but it also is a building block for different tissues in our body, including muscle. But it not only is for muscle, it can be all different organs, like your skin, it can be your liver, it can be your eyes, it can be anything in your body that'll help build and recover different tissues and organs. And the third thing is it actually is an integral part of many things in our body, like hormones and enzymes, and so it kind of regulates and supports just many different functions of the body just by being parts of different components of the body. So that's a more complex one, but you got the 2 main ones. So we're segueing into our game here. Everybody needs protein, right? We need to rebuild and recover. It's just a necessary part of our day. We cannot go without it. We can't live without it. But individual needs vary depending on how active you are, your age, how constant you're turning over muscle, your genetics. There's several different factors. So to introduce you to the protein theme, though, I'm going to have you pick out some items from here. We have a lot of different food items. Most of them contain protein, but some of them really don't have any protein. So I'm going to have you guess which items really don't have that much protein, or pretty much no protein, and set them over here. Okay. So she picked out carrots, oranges, and apples, which all these are very high nutrient foods. They have a lot of fiber, lots of vitamin A, vitamin C, different stuff in here, but they don't have protein, which is perfectly fine. We just want to also make sure we get enough protein in the day. But very good, perfect, smart guesses. Let's estimate how much protein you think you would need, Megan. We have a chart up here that kind of weight in pounds. Do you think you can
It looks like I
figure out what you
would
would
need
need?
36 to 45 grams per day.
Okay, kind of loosey-goosey assemble these items to try to get a total between 54 and 68 grams to see what a day's worth of protein looks like for you.
Okay.
You want to go for that?
Sure, I'll give it a try.
Cool. You can assemble it wherever you want.
Well, let's see. Let's start with beef.
Okay.
And perhaps some tuna.
Okay.
And I'm going to say also some peas. It's on the lower end, but along with a cup of milk.
Okay.
How does that add up?
All right, let's flip it over and find out. So, can you flip this over?
Sure. We have, it says milk, 11 grams.
Okay.
Can of tuna, 20 grams. Green peas, 7 grams. And the beef, about 25 grams. So
Okay. Note to nutrition educators, these numbers are not accurate yet, and I will make sure that these numbers are accurate by Monday when I have these labeled. So please do not memorize these, they are wrong. They might have guessed right, but they are wrong. So let's add these up. So we have 11 grams, 18, 38, 63 grams. That is right within your goal, isn't it?
I think so.
That is in your goal. So that would be about like the amount of protein you need in a day. But as a side note, there are a lot of different food items throughout the day that have smaller amounts of protein. It might be rice, it might be cereal. Even some fruits and vegetables have minor amounts of protein. If you eat enough throughout the day, it might add up to a few grams, and that could be included in your total as well. So you might not even need all these protein items. These are Also, animal products. Some people are comfortable with eating animal products, some aren't. So you could even meet your protein needs with other items if you don't feel comfortable with eating animal products, like
Such as the peanut
you
butter?
could do peanut butter, you could do different kinds of nuts, legumes, which include all beans, nuts, and like lentils. You could also do things like rice and beans. It's a pretty good complete protein, so there's always those options for you if you're not comfortable with animal products. But speaking of different sources of protein, I am going to ask you a few more trivia questions if you're up for it to close out.
I'll try.
So, as Americans, do you think we get enough protein in general?
I think we do, and I imagine too much, maybe even. I think our portions are larger than what we really need.
That might be true. So, in general, what the dietary guidelines for American recommends, in general, as Americans, we meet those protein needs on average. Actually, males tend to get more than the recommended amounts. Females tend to actually fall within recommended limits for protein amounts, but in general, we get more than we need, which may not necessarily be a bad thing, but if we are consuming extra protein, keep in mind that's also extra calories and energy, which can add up as extra pounds in our gut, or extra health problems if we're consuming way too many animal products that have too much saturated fat, or if there's too much processed foods. Let's say, for example, that was bacon or something like that. If we're eating too much of that, it can cause health problems. But too much protein itself may not be too big of a problem unless you have kidney problems. So keep that in mind. But while we get enough protein, there's also different types of proteins, and the dietary guidelines for Americans recommends that we get more or less of different items. So as Americans, do you think we tend to get too much or too little of fish and seafood?
Well, I know
signs right here.
Yeah, I know that I definitely get too little in my diet.
Too little, so I put that up there near the seafood, or put that up there actually on the board.
I'll put this one up here.
Yeah, stick it up there.
Right there.
What about beef, poultry?
Well, kind of sounds like we're kind of in the middle. It sounds like men sometimes get too much and women too little, but our portions tend to be more than they need to be, so maybe too much.
Yeah.
Because of some of the health complications of eating too much beef.
Yeah, those are actually both correct. The dietary guidelines recommends that in general we've been eating too many animal products, beef, poultry, eggs. We can decrease that, but most people don't get enough fish, which have a lot of nutrients that we are low in, like vitamin D and several others. So omega-3s, that sort of thing. So that leaves one last one, legumes and seeds. So don't get enough of. So we can put that up there as well.
As a too little? Yeah.
As a too little. So, kind of as a closing message, we know as Americans that in general we get enough protein. Most people do. There are some exceptions. However, most people don't get enough of the other food groups. Looking at my plate here, what food groups do you think people don't tend to get enough of?
Fruits and vegetables.
Right? That whole half of the plate, which is very important. That's exactly correct. Most people don't get enough of those groups. If you were to guess, what percent or how many people get the recommended amount of fruit in their diet on a daily basis?
What percentage of people?
Yeah, percent, or 1 in 5, or 1 in 3 and 4.
Maybe you just gave me the hint. Is it 1 in 5?
It is about, let me see, it's actually 1 in 4.
1 in 4.
What would you guess for vegetables?
Let's see, maybe 2 in 4?
2 and 4. It's actually
100%.
about 1 in 8.
Oh, wow.
1 in 8 people get a recommended amount of vegetables
Wow.
and there's fruit. So protein is very important. It's important that we get quality sources. In general, though, people get enough. So we can always focus on the source of protein we're getting, and also maybe we can also check out other food groups as well. But it's always good to make sure we get enough protein too.